Hi, folks, with Tacitus today. Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the number of articles that I've been seeing recently. I don't know if the rest of you have, where they're talking about or asserting in these articles that illegal aliens, coming through the southern border of the United States or crossing the channel to come to England, that they're really they're not peasants from the third world. They're all fucking scientists and rocket scientists and DNA splicing scientists. These are the guys that's discovered the human genome. I mean, they're fucking geniuses, and so we should be grateful that they're coming to the West to give us their brilliance and their genius and their high levels of capability. Now, there's one. I was just saw one article a few days ago where, and I've seen a number of them, but this particular one, I would have thought the media outlet was pretty centrist, and I wouldn't have thought they'd have gone along with the propaganda, but they are. So even in the moderate online news sites, I've noticed there's been quite an uptick in the pro mass immigration, pro illegal immigration propaganda. Well, why should they have to go through the processes of applying for a migrant visa? And why should they have to do that? Because those processes put in place by evil fucking white Nazis. White people put that in there, so it's illegitimate. If white people put it in place, it's got to be illegitimate. So these folks have a right to bypass the system, a system that's not legitimate because it was put in place by fucking Nazis. So, okay, all right then. Well, let's look at that. So the first stage is to declare the system of the process, immigration process, it's completely illegitimate, completely by racist, Nazi, fascist white people. Okay. So anyone that arrives illegally is not really arriving illegally because the process is illegitimate. So they're coming to the West and they're arriving and it's totally legitimate, because to say otherwise is racist and Nazi and so on. So they go down that. So having set up the discussion, if you like, along those lines, they then move to, well, look at the huge benefit these people. And I spoke to Ubago Magumbo, and says the journalist doing the article, and he's a human genome scientist. One of the, this is a highly sought after skill, wanted all over the world, and he's decided to come to America instead of going somewhere else. So we should be on our hands and knees, bowing and scraping before him that he's decided to come to America and give America the benefit of his brilliance. But hold on, there's no such thing as borders, so you can't really say America, can you? Mere detail. Let's forget about that. So anyway, there was enough information there where I could go searching for footage online. Given the district and the area and so on, there's enough information where I could go looking for stuff. I managed to find an interview with what I think is the same guy. So that it was real. There was a real reporter that did really talk to somebody called, Ubago Magumbo. Now, we're supposed to believe that he's got, in international terms, he's got internationally recognized credentials of the highest order. I mean, he's got a fucking PhD in human genomes. So there's only a few thousand people in the whole world that have that level of qualification. So I mean, wow, the guys decided to come. Okay, now that is newsworthy. Why he would need to come illegally is a bit beyond me. The inference in the article was, well, because he's black. You see those damn fascist, Nazi, racist white Hitlers in the immigration department won't let him in. So he's got no choice but to come this way, because that's just it. And why should he? Why should he have to fill out forms and so on that he's made to do by Nazis? Why should he have to do that? So he's completely right to come in illegally. Anyway, let's have a look at now. Magumbo comes from one of the poorest countries in the whole world. Like it's one of the 5 poorest countries on earth. And if you do a little sort of bit of digging, it sort of actually got no tertiary education system that you could really call that. In fact, hardly anyone even finishes junior high school, let alone senior high school. And on top of that, this human genome thing, qualification thing that he's got, is only available in certain Western countries. So you can't go to Bulgaria and do it. So you have to really be in first world wealthy Western countries to do this. And somehow he's got a PhD in it, which he claims that he got in this poor African country. So where there is no university per se, and certainly no courses in it. So that's bullshit straight away. And any journalist worth 1 cent could have picked him up on that. But so obviously the article's propaganda. So it's claimed that he speaks perfect English. So that seems unusual. They don't even speak English in that African place. So and that's not the national language. And then if you look at the amount of people that speak English, it's tiny in proportion. So again, that seems unlikely. I mean, not impossible on that point, but that he would speak flawless English instead of pidgin English. That's impossible. I don't believe that. So anyway, so I find the thing that he speaks the most terrible pidgin. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. It's understandable English, pidgin, but understandable. Now, I would think he's either, I would guess he's been to somewhere like England, and he's been kicked out for some reason and deported, something like. I would guess that, given the accent that he's got on his English. He could probably get by on that English, by the way. So, but there's no way he has that PhD or any qualification of any sort. And my guess is that the English he learnt was on the street while he was an illegal in either a refugee camp somewhere or an illegal in somewhere like England. He was deported. That's my sort of guess. But they're ramping up this idea that everyone coming is firstly that the system's illegitimate and these people are allowed to come, must be allowed to come. To not allow them to come would be racist and evil and fascist, Nazi, yada yada. And they all have these qualifications, which they don't. So, but it's the thing that got me was the extent of the lies. Why did a reporter for a really, again, quite a centrist, well, you wouldn't describe them as far left or anything like that. Why did a reporter in a centrist media outlet tell so many lies that were easily verifiable? Or lies based on facts are easily verifiable. How is it you have a PhD in splicing the human genome when you come from one of the poorest countries in the world that does need to have it? Where did you study for that? Yeah, well, that's a very expensive course. Where did the money come from if you're a penniless peasant and so on? And you look at the behaviour of the person and the manner, they've very much got peasant behaviour. So they're not part of some rich African tin pot dictator elite or something, far from it. And those people have got a lot of influence, and they could arrange visas anyway if they wanted. So this is the whole thing was lies and a complete and utter and total fabrication. But this is the standard of reporting that they're using to try and justify the mass migration. So they're coming around. So I think we're going to be inundated with all this nonsense propaganda of fictitious people, or people that may exist, but where their resume is completely fictitious in order to suggest or imply that they're highly qualified and they should have a right to come to the West if they have those sorts of qualifications, which they don't have. These people just don't exist. Well, certainly not in the manner that the media propagandas characterise them. You've been with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.